Recently, we lost a member of the community that was a treasure and connected a bunch of people in this room here. And you may have known him from movies Breaking to Electric Boogaloo. You might have seen him on Soul Train. You might have seen him in videos. He was everywhere. But before I continue, I'm going to hand it over to Alyssa to say a few words.
Thank you. I just wrote this at 5 in the morning, this morning, which is why, this is why, I'm a little bit exhausted, because it was already an emotional morning. So whenever people ask me about Shabba-Doo, I don't have much to say. We all know the legend of Shabba-Doo, hip-hop icon, godfather of street dance, matinee idol, original locker, break-in, the list goes on and on. Depending on who you ask, he was either revered or feared by many, but undoubtedly talented, whose charisma inspired and shaped many incredible artists. Yet I can't say much about him or his impact, but I can speak about Adolfo Quinones. What was the difference? Shabba-Doo was a larger-than-life persona, almost to a point where he was unrelatable. Behind the persona with a mask was Adolfo, a shy, scared kid from Chicago, who carried a vivid imagination, a precocious talent of dance, and a deep love for music. Shab was the movie star. Adolfo was the movie. There was never a dull moment. He was an incredible storyteller, and not only with words, but through movement. Dance just happened to be his pen of choice. Shabba-Doo was a dance icon. Adolfo was an artist, an expressionist. When I came to learn from him, he was the first one who said to me, it's not about the step. It's acting, it's expression, it's behavior. In other words, it's all about the story and making sure it's clearly received and understood. While the public Shabba-Doo was always this professional who was the image of strength, perfection, and youth, who could be polarizing and brutal to those around him, I witnessed his day-to-day struggles that he fought through, from injuries to anxiety to struggles with mental and emotional health, personal traumas and demons, just to be able to show up and to perform in his best at any given situation. Shab had a huge ego, but Adolfo was kind and soft-hearted. He generously gave and created and gave his hand to as many artists and dancers as a gesture of allyship. He opened his heart to many, including myself, to mentor and to impart his hard-earned knowledge to the next generation. My cherished memories of him was his love for music and his ear for it. Many know his performances on TV or film, but his most brilliant moments were off camera. Usually in isolation, at home, in his office, or in front of those he loved and trusted. He saw me as a daughter he wished he had. He tried to make my experience with him worthwhile. Sad, he told me one time, he's like, I'll teach you everything you need to know, but when you're ready, you need to get out of the nest and you need to fly. And even if that meant letting go of him. Oh God, this is emotional.
Come on, baby.
So hard. Yeah, okay. Determined, I promised to take his words to heart and fly and never look back. I think he knew I wouldn't need to. He overly blessed me so I can fly and become my own person, whether he agreed on it or not. I put away his dance like old worn clothing and closed that chapter. When I received word of his passing, all I could think of was his favorite song. The lyrics go, "This old heart of mine, been broke 1,000 times. Each time you break away, I fear you're gone to stay. Lonely nights that come, memories that flow, bringing you back again, hurting me more and more." Despite all this disappointment and distance between us, his loss still cuts deeper than I expected. However, since his loss, I've had so many messages and synchronicities that link to him. From being approached by a brown boy with curly hair, steps away from my home wearing my favorite color purple and my number 22 on his back, asking for directions, leaving my neighbor and myself to wonder, who is that kid? Have you ever seen him in our neighborhood?
Oh, wow.
I kind of like to think that was him, the lost little boy. I thought that was a sign that he was okay and that he made it to where he's supposed to go. Yes, I hope. But then I realized he knew where I lived. Scary. No. Or reconnecting with new and old people who I hadn't seen since my time with them. Like, all eager to share his memories of how brilliant yet misunderstood he was. To that business trip in France, where I became very ill, and I had to stay in France in the hospital a few days longer than expected, only to be looked after and taken care of by Murad and his beautiful family and people.
Hey.
Lying in the hospital, I thought about Shab probably watching and saying to me, as much as you'd like to detach and be independent, you are part of my family. And you have the choice, but you have to choose to bond and get to know each other. It's all you have right now. Even just recently, around his birthday, this year, weeks before, while I was in the storm of planning this event, I looked up at the clock and the time was 5:11, his birthday. And the song playing was Just Us, which was his final solo in Brazil.
Wow.
All of this means he's around and he's watching and he's behind us as an ancestor. I leave you with my final thoughts. Make no mistake, Punky an American Classic is a homage to honor the roots and the originators to which we stand on their shoulders. But the work it takes to manifest this, writing grants, creating posters, pitching ideas, going to the gym, those were seeds that were planted during my time with Adolfo. And I'm grateful. Knowing how few people he allowed in his circle, I hope that there was someone he impacted his knowledge to who could truly grasp and express it. I'm happy that Ruel was one of the few that got to see his brilliance and was so generous to share it with us. Two things that he fought for the most in this life was to be free and to be understood. And I hope after this week, we've had the opportunity to understand him just a little bit more better. May he rest in peace.